The Minnesota Timberwolves completed their sweep of the Phoenix Suns last night, beating them 122 to 116. The biggest story of this game was, I would say, Anthony Edwards' duel with Devin Booker. Both of these guys showed up for their teams respectively. What I thought was interesting was how Anthony Edwards didn't really have an impact on the game in the first half. He just had a relatively quiet 9 points. He wasn't really impacting that game that much, but it was the second half where he just took over. He ended up scoring 31 points in the second half, had a total of 40 points, and he really asserted his will in the game. His team was down by 5 points in halftime, and it looked like the Suns had all the momentum, and then he just stepped up in the game. And he did it in so many different ways on the offensive end. He had some fadeaway moves. He had some step backs. He drove to the hole a few times for some thunderous dunks. He was also hitting his threes. I've said for a while, and I believe that if Anthony Edwards can consistently hit his threes at a good percentage, then he becomes pretty much unstoppable on the offensive end. He becomes a prolific scorer. Last night, he was shooting great from three-point range, 7 of 13. When he shoots that well, it's just amazing to watch. I feel like his jump shot can be shaky at times. So when they're falling, it's great. And that's definitely an advantage he has. His fadeaway shots are great. I think he's starting to master how to do fadeaways. I saw quite a few in that game. That's a good move to have if you're a guard in this league, or even any type of perimeter player. The fadeaway is the timeless shot. That's always going to be effective once you master it. It can allow you to get some easy buckets. You could tell he's putting some time in perfecting that move. Once he's perfected it, that's going to make him an even more dominant player. But he really had a complete game. When you look at all the categories, 40 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. So you got to give him credit for just being complete all around. There's another guy in this game that doesn't really get much attention, but he had a great game too in Cat. 28 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. I feel that he was the X factor in the series. He probably doesn't get much attention for what he did for them. Obviously, Anthony Edwards is going to get the headlines, but I thought just him asserting himself when it mattered in these games, and in the sense when he had the mismatch on Kevin Durant, he took advantage of it. He didn't play small. I always term playing small as a big when a smaller defender is guarding you and you're settling for jump shots and instead of just going for the easy post-up plays. And he posted up Kevin Durant a lot of times in the paint, exploited the weaknesses of the Phoenix Suns in that regard, that they couldn't check him when he was posting up. He got his team easy buckets when they needed to get them. He was very timely, and that to me is a sign that he's starting to figure out how to win games. When you learn how to get timely baskets, it's like it shows that you have a good feel of the game, when to take over and when to step back. That takes young players, I think, a long time to figure it out. Cat has been in the league for, I think it's been like 8 or 9 years now. So it seems like now he's starting to figure out how to exploit his mismatches, when to be aggressive and when to step back. And that's a great sign for the Wolves. Overall, as a team, they played really, really well. Jaden McDaniels had a great game, just in the sense that he had 18 points. He's not much of a scorer, so it's always a plus when a guy like that steps up. Going forward, it'll be interesting to see how they match up with the Nuggets. I think that'll be a great series. I'd say on the Suns' end, give Booker credit. He stepped up big in this elimination game. He tried his best, but he just couldn't get his team the victory. Durant had a great offensive game, but like I said in the previous video, his defense is very flawed, and it will continue to cost his team. Bradley Beal was a no-show, just complete no-show. He was absent for a guy who's supposed to be an all-star player. 9 points, 4 of 13 shooting in an elimination game is just not going to cut it. The Timberwolves advance, and we have an exciting series to look forward in round 2. If the Nuggets close it out tonight, I'll definitely put out a video on that, a preview of that matchup. So that's pretty much all I have to say.